Welcome to KetoMealsAndRecipes.com. Treats are a wonderful thing to have on hand anytime, but I feel it's absolutely important to have your favorite treats, especially for the holidays or any special occasion you're celebrating, because it's really nice to have these little morsels on hand when your family or friends come over. With the holidays in mind, I'm doing another holiday baking recipe that can be made as a prep ahead. I wanted to start early this year so you'd have plenty of time to plan and make ahead of time and freeze a great variety of treats, like this amazing Brazilian Brigadeiro chocolate fudge. This Brazilian version has a nice, soft, creamy center. If you follow along in this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this recipe, which can also be found in my free e-cookbook, Desserts and Treats. If you're interested in previewing this video or downloading the free e-cookbook, the link for this and all mentioned videos, as well as the written recipe, will be posted in the description below. So go down there and check it out. To make these sugar-free Brazilian Brigadeiro, you will need to make my sugar-free sweetened condensed milk, or if you prefer, my dairy-free sweetened condensed milk. So you should begin by making that first. And you can make it a day or a few days ahead of time. And if you like this treat, I have selected a few special treats and pinned them as my end links, so do click on them after you watch the entire video. If you've never heard of Brigadeiros before, you may be wondering what the difference is between these Brazilian truffles as compared to regular chocolate truffles. This adapted keto Brazilian truffle is quite dense, but soft and velvety, more like a thick caramely texture, but more solid. So the difference between these two is a texture and mouthfeel, as well as a bit of a different flavor. The macronutrient ratio for the Brazilian Brigadeiro fudge is 13.5 to 1, with 1 gram of total carbs, 0.2 grams of dietary fiber, resulting in only 0.8 grams of net carbs per truffle. The best part about these Brazilian keto truffles is that they are very easy to make. So let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, the first thing you have to do is prepare the sugar-free sweetened condensed milk or the dairy-free sweetened condensed milk. After you make it, just leave it on your stove top and let it cool completely to room temperature. Or if you made this ahead of time and it's a bit solid, just put it into a saucepan and reheat it until it's nice and liquidy like this. Then turn off the heat and leave it on your stove top until needed. The next step is to get a small saucepan and weigh out the unsalted butter, add the cocoa powder, the instant coffee powder, and your very finely ground salt. Place the pan with all of these ingredients onto your stove top, which is set over medium-low heat. And as your chocolate is melting, also pour in the sweetened condensed milk. I'm really sorry I didn't get that footage because my battery died. Cook and stir until the mixture has melted and all the ingredients have blended together into a nice velvety and thick mixture. Before turning off your stove, it's really important that you test for grittiness, and you do this by taking a small spoonful of this liquid, letting it cool just a bit so you don't burn your finger, dip your finger in, and then rub it between your finger and your thumb, and if it feels gritty, it's not done with. Keep cooking and retest. If it feels really smooth and there's no grittiness, the truffle mixture is done, so turn off your heat. Now back to testing my Brigadeiro chocolate, and the last thing I do is dip my spoon into the chocolate and run my finger across the back to make sure that it's thick enough. And you'll know that the chocolate is thick enough if you run your finger across the back of the spoon and the line that you made stays clean. In other words, the chocolate doesn't run together. At this point, remove the pot from the stovetop and let the mixture cool in the pot to room temperature. Stir every once in a while. In this recipe, before laying the parchment, I grease the container with coconut oil and then lay the parchment because I wanted it to stay flat to the surface. When your truffle chocolate has cooled, pour the chocolate Brigadeiro liquid into a parchment-lined container. And now that I've poured my truffle liquid into the container, I'm placing a layer of cling wrap over the chocolate mixture and then refrigerating this for just 1 to 2 hours. You don't need the chocolate Brigadeiro mixture to be hard. All you want it to be is to be firm and scoopable. I've checked and my mixture is at the right temperature. So before starting, grease your hands. For purposes like this, I use a less expensive coconut oil, but you could also use an unsalted butter or olive oil. While I was waiting for my truffle mixture to cool, I placed the ingredients I will be using to coat my Brigadeiro truffles into these small bowls. I wanted everything to be ready when I get started. There are a few traditional coatings, but today I will be using desiccated chopped up coconut flakes, Dutch processed cocoa powder, and I also grated my 100% Lindt chocolate. Or you could use any chocolate that you like, such as an organic chocolate that is sugar-free. Alternatively, you could also use some finely chopped nuts, whichever you have on hand or of your choice. Some that work well with this truffle are pistachios, walnuts, and pecans. But again, use which ones you like and are your favorite. On some occasion, I also like to color my desiccated coconut by using green or red food color. You'll have to do that a day ahead because the coconut flakes do have to dry before you use them. I think the perfect size for these brigadeiros is to use a half teaspoon measuring spoon, scoop out some of the chilled chocolate truffle mixture, and then just roll the brigadeiro into a smooth ball. You should work very quickly because the heat of your hand will melt the chocolate. So don't overly fuss how perfectly round they are. Now that all of my truffle balls are made, I immediately roll the ball in one of the coating flavors. By doing it right away, you've softened the surface, and this helps whatever coating you're using to stick better to the outside. All of these flavors are really nice, and everybody's got their favorite. Mine are the ones that are coated with the Dutch processed cocoa powder. Another tip I'd like to share with you is I'd strongly recommend you do not use your fingers to roll the truffles in the cocoa or the grated chocolate. Use a fork or a spoon. That's because the powder or the chocolate is very, very soft and it will stick to your fingers more so than it will to the truffle if you use your fingers. By the way, I have found that the best way to coat my truffles when I'm using desiccated coconut or any of the chopped nuts is to actually use my fingers this time and roll it very gently and carefully around. After you've done coating all of your chocolate brigadeiro balls, place them on a flat plate or serving tray and transfer the tray to your refrigerator for at least 1 to 2 hours before serving. That's in order for the chocolate to reset and to harden. Like some of the treats I've already made this year, these amazing brigadeiro can be made ahead of time and then placed and frozen in an airtight container and stored in your freezer for several months. And then to thaw, just transfer the frozen brigadeiros from the freezer into your refrigerator and let them thaw overnight. What makes Christmas a lot more fun and easy is prep ahead treats. So this is why I've started early this year, and by prepping ahead you'll have a variety of special treats to offer your family and friends. One last thing, before serving the brigadeiros, place them on your serving tray and let them rest on your counter for a few minutes so that they have a moment to soften just a bit. I really hope you will like these sugar-free sweetened condensed milk Brazilian truffles, which I made using a traditional Brazilian methodology and recipe. Thank you very much for watching my tutorial. I hope you will enjoy making, and most of all, eating these Brazilian chocolate truffles as much as we do. Please come back and check out my next video. And now that this video is done, click on the end links and check out one of the other holiday treats. And everyone, have a wonderful day.